right, big headline in the Post-Gazette today. Heinz plant no more on the north side. It's going to be a different company. But what's the future there? Heinz is selling many of its operations to Del Monte Foods. Audrey Gusky is marketing and business analyst at Duquesne University. Professor, welcome.
Good morning, Fred. Always great to be here.
Nice to have you here. So, first of all, let's get to the basics. What has Heinz done? Yesterday I was thinking, is Del Monte, is that a part of Heinz? Because Heinz has many subsidiaries.
Correct.
But apparently they're still two separate companies.
Exactly.
What has Heinz done?
Heinz has spun off some of its weaker brands. So
for example?
It would be StarKist, 9 Lives, a lot of the pet food, Kibbles and Bits.
StarKist Tuna is a weak brand?
Surprisingly, it is. Yeah, Charlie Tuna, they've tried to bring him back and tried to suggest, the nostalgia and the advertising. But overall, their tuna hasn't been doing as well as
neither is Kibbles and Bits, huh?
No, and neither is Sausages. And also, they're spinning off some more profitable products, which would be their baby foods, the Heinz, very healthy-oriented types of baby foods.
Now, if I remember correctly, what they manufacture on the north side are the institutional soups.
Correct.
And do they do baby food on the north side?
They do baby food on the north side.
But they don't make ketchup on the north side. Even though they got that big ketchup aisle. No ketchup's made there.
No, it hasn't been made in years.
So that plant on the north side, and I didn't know that was happening until this morning, that plant will no longer be a Heinz plant.
Exactly. Even though they're going to keep the Heinz ketchup bottle there for, I guess, nostalgia's sake. And they're going to keep the Heinz field. It would be a shame to call it Del Monte Field.
Yeah. And Heinz will still be headquartered.
Heinz headquarters will still be here. They've got the old Gimbels building, which was my first employer. And so they'll be there. And also they have the headquarters in U.S. Tower. And so they will have 800 employees still here, national and internationally based here in Pittsburgh.
But we just had this big controversy over Heinz needing to expand over the Pittsburgh Wall. Is all that stuff still going to happen?
Well,
we don't know, huh?
We don't know. And I think it's not good news, but it's not bad news. Fortunately for Pittsburgh, it seems, at least in the short run and hopefully for a long time, we're going to have Heinz, the manufacturing plants now, as Del Monte in the Pittsburgh area. I'm very proud to say that our dean, Jim Stalter from the business school, was one of the people who was involved with the transaction, and he was speaking to the media yesterday. And as he had said, it seems like there were a lot of other options, and this was really the best of all possible worlds. In the ideal world, Fred, it would be Heinz would stay here, they would be doing well, the products would be thriving, and everybody would be happy, but Heinz wasn't profitable. They needed to get leaner, they needed to get more focused. So now they're focusing on condiments and like food, the meals and frozen foods.
So, yeah, Heinz is a pretty big company, and they do a lot of things. And the disturbing thing, I guess, to a lot of people is, well, it's not going to be the Heinz plant on the north side, it will now be the Del Monte plant. Heinz is downsizing, Del Monte is expanding.
Almost doubling.
Okay, so Del Monte is expanding, and all those jobs right now will still be there. But here's my prediction. And here, Jim Roddy and the mayor all were told that they were briefed Wednesday night.
Right.
And they were concerned. They thought the worst was going to be happening. So they're happy. And the scenario this morning is, only 100 jobs are going, and everything's staying the same. It's just the name on your check is going to change. But Del Monte's not that healthy of a company either. And so Heinz has spun off its weakest portion to a company that's not real strong itself.
Exactly.
So what happens when Del Monte still doesn't do very well, and Del Monte needs to cut back? Del Monte, which is headquartered in the West. San
Francisco, yeah.
So Del Monte, and the union contract expires next March. Del Monte's going to say, we have to now downsize, so we're eliminating this, and we're closing our Pittsburgh operation. Then Del Monte, headquartered in San Francisco, is the bad guy. Heinz is still clean, but we've just delayed the inevitable.
Well, that's the worst case scenario, and obviously all of us in Pittsburgh are hoping that doesn't happen. The manufacturing plants here do the soups and they do the baby food, which are two of the more profitable companies, and they're doing extremely well nationally as well as internationally. And so the plan is that Del Monte will tighten things, will improve the tuna as well as the pet food industry, and then and progress.
How do you improve tuna? They got that stuff that's in the pouch now, which is really good.
That's cool. Yeah.
Did you ever have that?
Yeah. Yeah, I like
That's
that.
good stuff.
Yeah, it's clever.
I like that. It's
convenient.
better than the can. It tastes better than the can.
Yeah.
It's not as watery as the can. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
I thought that was good.
Put in your pocket, put in your
Now they're
briefcase.
saying it's no good. Now they're saying that I did not know that StarKist was not doing well.
StarKist-
Dolphin safe and everything.
Yeah, it's interesting because they started the tuna, I don't know how many years ago, in the 30s, and then they found a byproduct of the tuna was the pet foods. And so that's why they brought the pet food, the cat food, the 9 Lives.
Oh, yeah.
And surprisingly, the 9 Lives is a very
I mean, the
strong
stuff that
brand
doesn't
name.
go in the tuna goes in the cat food.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like the scrapple of fish. Yeah, that's it.
Sort of. When you think of Heinz, though, Heinz is an internationally known brand. You travel in Europe or you travel
Yeah,
South
big in
America.
Europe. That's right.
It's everywhere. It's extremely profitable internationally. Half of their sales are coming from other countries. And so I think that Heinz is going to be strong. Ketchup, all their condiments, all of their products are number 1 or number 2 in the world, and so, or at least in the United States, sometimes in the world. And so I think we, as Pittsburghers, should be, we don't have the concern that perhaps we.
So you don't share the concern that I have.
Hopefully your prediction won't come true. My prediction is that Del Monte is going to struggle for a while. I think they'll get themselves on their feet. I think they may have to close some of the brands, maybe some of the pet foods. I think the tuna is going to stay strong. I think so is the soup, and I think overall it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, when we say institutional soup, and I can't be sure. But I'll use this as an example. For example, when you go into Giant Eagle and you buy the Giant Eagle brand soup, it's likely that's made by Heinz.
Most likely it is, yes.
I mean, those are the kinds of things.
Yeah.
The generic brand soups,
Right.
the store brand soups.
They also have the College Inn broth.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's
College Inn is Heinz.
It is.
That's
well,
good stuff.
now Del Monte, but it was Heinz. Yeah.
Is that right? I make a really good. You get that chicken College Inn chicken broth. I can make a really good dumpling soup out of that. Yeah.
Great, invite me over, Fred.
Yeah, sorry. All right, so you're saying this is the best case scenario. The people are still going to be working at the Heinz plant.
Right.
It's just sad that it's not going to be the Heinz, but the ketchup bottle stays there, so we all feel good.
We feel good, and also the national headquarters is still here. The international headquarters is still here. The strong brands are there. They're getting tighter. They're losing a lot of the companies who were hurting, and so I think overall it's good news for Pittsburgh. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
Professor, it's
Hope for
always
the
good
best.
to have you in here. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred.
Professor Audrey Gusky giving us her take on what's going on in Heinz.
And let's hope Del Monte doesn't have to catch up in there. So, sorry.
It says good. We're going to review the movie Born Wild, Born Identity. Stick with us. It's Honsberger Live.